everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're not. So for today's video I have a tutorial on this look right here. I'm really pleased with it because it's just an idea. The eye look was an idea that just kind of came to me. Sometimes this sounds really weird. Sometimes a makeup look will come to me as I'm falling asleep. That might sound really strange, but like, you know, if you're falling asleep and you're like half dreaming, half thinking, where you're like thinking and then all of a sudden you like think of a random thing. That always happens to me when I'm falling asleep, but sometimes it'll be like a makeup look. So the other night I was falling asleep and I just randomly thought of this like mint green shimmery lid with a really matte maroon liner, like that goes into the crease as well. And so that's what I decided to do today, and it came out pretty close to how I imagined it, so I'm pretty happy about that. And at first I wasn't sure what I would use for the liner because I don't have like a maroon gel liner, and I was looking at like using shadows and stuff, and then I realised I could use a lip product. So that is what I did, and I matched it with the lips. And if you're interested in anything I use, I will have a full product and brush list on my blog with international links, and there will be a link to that blog post down below in the description box. So if you'd like to see how to create this look, then just keep watching. So guys, to get started, as you can see, I'm starting with my base and brows done. So I'll just quickly run through what I'm wearing already. So for my foundation, I mixed my Estee Lauder Double Wear Maximum Cover with my Cover FX Custom Cover Drops, and I applied that with a Sigma F82 brush. For my concealer, I first used the NYX Dark Circle Corrector, and I went over top with the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer, and I applied those with a Zoeva 110 Face Shape brush. And then I set all of that in place with my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder and a Crown B26 brush. And then for my brows, I just used Celios from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette on an Inglot 31T brush. And I have already prepped my eye. I used MAC's Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and I applied that with a Zoeva 142 Concealer Buffer. So now that we are all caught up to speed, let's get into the look. So it's actually pretty simple, like there's not a lot of products, but you just have to kind of take your time with the liner. So I'm going to start with the light green colour, and I'll be kind of going back and forth between the shadow and the liner. But we'll start with the light green. So I'm using a loose eyeshadow from Bare Minerals called Mistletoe. Any shimmery light green or lime green will do. I'm taking that on a flat brush, and I'm going to pop that all over the eyelid, and also bring it slightly above the crease up to where I'm kind of envisioning my liner to sit. And you do want your liner to sit a little bit above the crease just to avoid major transferring. So this is just giving me a rough guide. I'm not being super neat about it because I'm going to come in with my liner around it anyway. So that's our base colour on, and I'm then going to go in with the liner, and for that I'm actually using a cream lipstick. This is one of the NYX Liquid Suede cream lipsticks. This is a mini one because I got it in a set, and it's in the shade Vintage. So I'm popping some of that out onto a palette, and then I'm going to use a liner brush to apply it. So I'm taking that on my Inglot 23T brush, and I'm going to start by lining my top lash line and winging it out as like a normal wing liner. So that is the first stage of the liner, and then from there I'm going to come from the corner and cut into the crease. So where exactly along the corner that you start will kind of depend on your eye shape. I'm just coming out far enough that I'll avoid the little folds in my eye because I have a few folds in my crease. And also you're going to want to make sure that your liner is sitting just above your crease when your eyes are relaxed and looking straight ahead. Number one, as I said, to avoid transferring, but also so that you can see it when your eyes are relaxed, not just when you're raising your brow or looking down. So what I'm going to do is just look straight into my mirror and just place a little dot above my crease where I know I want the liner to hit, so that when I'm actually doing the liner and I'm raising my brow in that, I can see the point that I need to go to. So I've just made two little marks there. If you need to, you can make more to just give yourself more of a guide, but I'm happy with that, so I'm going to go in with the second part of my liner. So that is my crease liner done, and from this stage I can compare it to the other eye and try and adjust it to be as symmetrical as possible. So I'm now going to take a fine angled brush. This is the Inglot 31T, and some makeup remover. I'm using the Inglot waterproof makeup remover. So I've just poured a drop of that out onto my palette, and I'm dipping my brush into it. And I'm just going to use that very fine tip to just adjust little parts where I want it to be more similar to this side. So for example, I feel like this bit comes out a bit wide here, whereas this one swoops down a little bit more. So I'm going to try and cut this a little bit. And you'll find that just taking away the smallest little bit of product can make a big difference. So I just took away a little bit off the top and then added some of that maroon colour underneath to make it match a little bit more. And then also my wings, this one is coming out a little bit straighter than this one. This is just angling up slightly. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but it's just bothering me when I look straight into the mirror. So I'm going to go back in with the liner and create kind of a straighter wing. And then after wiping off my angled brush, I'll take a little bit more remover and clean up from the top and underneath where necessary. So I'm pretty happy with my shaping now. So I'm going to go in with the slightly darker green on the outer corner of the lid. So I'm going into the Storm palette from Sleek and I'm taking the dark green colour. Again, it has a nice bit of shimmer in it. I'm taking that on a thicker angled brush. You could also use like a small smudger shadow brush. This is just what I have to hand. So I'm going to come along and just pop it on the inside of the liner just to make sure that I'm getting up close to the edges, but I'm also not being too messy about it. I don't want to go over my liner too much. So we're just running it along the inside of that outer V. And then from there I'll start to colour in that corner and blend it in. And then I'm going back in with my light green shadow and fade over the point where those two colours meet, so that you get a nice blend. Okay, so from here, if you need to, you can go back to your liner and touch it up. The reason I didn't go back in straight away is because when working with like a lip product like this, or just something that's a little bit more creamier or maybe isn't as pigmented, I just wanted to let that layer set before I go in with any more, so I'm not moving the product around. And also because I took some of that product out onto a palette, that has kind of started to dry a little bit, so it's going to have a drier texture when I'm applying it, so it'll be a little bit more pigmented. So there's just a few little areas where it's just a little bit streaky. And also any areas that you might have gone over your liner with your shadow. So next I'm going to go in with a pencil on my lower waterline, and I'm using the Rimmel Soft Kohl in the shade 31 Jungle Green. And then for the shadow on the lower lash line, I'm just going in with Succubus, which is the warmer reddy shade from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and a Morphe E36 brush. So I'm starting right at the lash roots, and then I'll start blending it down. And I'll also just pull it up to the corner so that it kind of connects with that maroon liner. But just blend it down more in the centre. Then for a little inner corner highlight, I'm going to use Lucky Clover from the Moonchild Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I'm just taking that on a small detail brush. And then to finish off the eye look is just lashes. So I'm just going to curl my natural lashes and apply a coat of mascara to the top and bottom. And then the falsies that I'm using are the Inglot 30 ends, and I'm using the Duo Brush On Dark Glue. And then because I don't have a black liner on, I'm making sure to get this as close as I can to my natural lash roots, just so that you can't really see the gap as much. So those are the eyes done. I'll just zoom you in to give you a better look. So now let's finish off the face. For a bronzer, I'm going to use the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and I'm using that on the same brush that I set my face with. That's the BK26 from Crown. So I'm first going to start along my hairline, and then under the cheekbones, and under the jaw. And then I'm just going to take a touch of the taupe eyeshadow from Ben Nye and just use that on the very tip of the brush. This is quite a rounded brush, so it's just very gently on the tip. And just hitting those same areas again, but being a little bit more precise. Being that this is a big rounded brush, it's not going to be super precise and sculpted, because I think I'm going to do the same liner colour on my lip. So if we're having like a strong eye and a strong lip, I don't want to go overboard with the cheek products. I'm just going to give that brush a quick wipe off before I go in with blush. And I'm going to go into the Blush Goddess palette from Makeup Revolution. And I'm going to take the pale pink shade. And then I'm going to take the first highlight shade from that palette. And I'm using that on the brush I use my concealer with. And that's just going on the tops of the cheekbones, and the cupid's bow and the nose. So then onto the lip. As I said, I'm going to go ahead and use that same colour that I did on the eye, which again is vintage from the NYX Liquid Suede range. But I'm first just going to use a liner, and I'm just going to take like a warm brown liner. I will be going over it with the colour, so it's just to give me a guide. So then I'm going in with my lip colour, and I'm using it on a lip brush. This is the 12S from Inglot. And so guys, that is the finished look. So I really hope you like it. I'm really pleased with how it came out. It came out as I envisioned it, and that rarely happens. A lot of the time you think you're going one way and you end up going another way. But I'm really pleased with the outcome. If you like the look or if you enjoyed the video, then definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have already, then also click the little notification bell if you'd like to be notified when a video goes up, because YouTube can be funny and sometimes it doesn't go into your subscription box. And of course, as always, there will be a full product and brush list with international links on my blog, and there'll be a link down below to the exact blog post. So do check that out if you're interested in anything I used. So with all of that said, and now that my battery is starting to flash, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.